today's video, I'm going to get real with you. I am sharing how I finally got out of my own way, stopped letting fear and self-doubt control me, and started making moves towards the life I knew I deserved. It wasn't easy, but nothing worthwhile ever is. So if you're feeling stuck or like you're constantly sabotaging your own growth, this one is for you. Let's dive into how I shifted my mindset and started creating real change, shall we? I first started believing that I was capable. For a long time, my internal dialogue wanted me to believe that I was incapable, that nothing works out for me, that it wasn't worth it to try because surely it wasn't going to work out anyways. And that dialogue kept me so small and closed off. I made the conscious decision to start believing that I was capable of achieving the things that I had dreamt of for years. I started seeing myself living the life that I wanted and being the person that I wanted to be. I started gravitating towards the positives and recognizing the good instead of harping on the bad and living in a victim mentality. You have to believe that you are capable of everything you set your mind to. If you don't believe it, there will always be something inside of you that resists it and blocks you from receiving it. I stopped making excuses and I started putting in the work. This one is going to get me hyped up. I already know it. I used to be so lazy and so unmotivated and so undisciplined and one of the biggest victims you had ever met. This is a big reason why I get so passionate about discipline, about motivation, about fearlessly pursuing your dreams, because I was in the exact same place that you are in right now. I hated my life, but I certainly couldn't bring myself to do anything about it. I could not bring myself to do the things that I needed to do to fix it because it would make me uncomfortable and it would take effort and consistency and time and work. And I didn't want anything to do with any of that. Eventually, thank the good Lord above, I realized how fucking pathetic that is. I realized what a weak, unattractive mindset that is. To be so lazy and undisciplined that you can't even be bothered to be pulled away from your normal routine that you resent to start making moves towards creating the life that you actually want to live. It's so wild when you actually sit back and think about the fact that you hate your life and yet you're just wasting time away on social media, binge watching TV, doing meaningless tasks for that quick hit of dopamine that feels good in the moment, but that's actually just burying you deeper and deeper into this hole of self-hatred and irritability. That's the truth. You cannot even argue with me because I have lived it. Stop making excuses, start taking ownership for your shit, and work your ass off to create the life that you want for yourself. If you don't, I hope that you can find a way to numb out your feelings because you are going to be unhappy for the rest of your life. I get so passionate about that topic because I just wish somebody screamed that at me when I was in that position. I wish I had somebody tell me that I was weak and pathetic. I wish I had somebody tell me that I was being a lazy piece of shit. I wish I had somebody tell me that that was such an unattractive place for me to be in. I wanted to make sure that I came back around to tell you. I stopped longing to be externally validated. I used to crave external validation. I was not okay without it, which is crazy. I needed to be constantly posting on Instagram. I would seek attention from people I had no business seeking attention from. I needed the designer, I needed the nice car because at that point, all of that was what was validating me. It was validating my worthiness. It was validating my status. It was validating my cool girlness. But in reality, all of that was just a mask and it was just a band-aid over a much deeper wound. That whole show I used to put on only made me feel worse and worse about myself and lowered my self-worth more and more. It has been a journey. And obviously there are still times when I enjoy external validation. Duh, I'm still a human. But it doesn't define me whether I receive it or not, and I don't rely on it. It took me realizing that the only person who can truly make me feel good and fulfilled and worthy is me. So instead of pouring all of my money and energy and effort and attention into these trivial things that will only really be appreciated by other people who have low self-worth, I needed to start pouring all of that into me and into the part of me that felt like she was never good enough. Forget the material items, forget the DMs. They don't do a damn thing for you. Start learning about who you are and start moving further and further away from tying your worth to anything external. Validate yourself, love yourself, and show up for yourself. I started realizing that I was the only person who I could count on. I will admit that it took me way too many times of experiencing this lesson to finally learn it, but finally I have learned it. No more of these lessons, please, 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 please. People are flaky. Even people who you love, even people who you think you can trust, people are flaky. And most people only have their best interest at heart. There are some really, really amazing people out there, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, at least in the States, we live in a very self-centered, individualistic society where people only truly care if they are okay. You can have love for other people and care deeply for other people, but at the end of the day, you have to put yourself first. You have to provide for yourself anything and everything that you need. You truly cannot count on anyone else. And that is so sad for us optimists and lover girls or lover boys. But we gotta put us first. I gotta put me first. I gotta put me first. We have to pour into us first. We have to provide for us first, and we have to work on us first. No one else is going to show up for you like you will show up for you. No one else is going to motivate you like you can motivate you. No one else can love you quite like you can love you. Somebody can love you, but the love that you give to yourself is so special and it's so sacred. And you are the only one that you can count on to provide for yourself. I stopped self-sabotaging for the most part. I'm still human, okay? Things still come up. We all do it at one point or another. Each one of us has allowed our thoughts and emotions to control how we move through our life. Our thoughts and emotions are so fleeting, and honestly, they can be a little unhinged. Most of the time, the thoughts that come up when we're about to jump into something new and scary and uncomfortable are other people's beliefs that we have adopted. I've talked about this quite a bit before, but your limiting beliefs tend to not be your own thoughts. Your self-doubt tends to come from other people who doubted you in the past or showed you that they doubted themselves or their own abilities, and so you internalize that as normal. The fear that comes up is only there to keep you safe from the perceived danger that lies in the uncertainty of chasing after your dreams. All of these things that come up to sabotage you are not reality. They are solely thoughts and emotions. Sit with them, allow them to come up, and if you need to, take them with you. Take them with you into the interview. Take them with you when you film your video. Put them in your cute little purse and tell them that they're coming with you. You have committed to doing these things and they don't have power over you anymore. You guys are just coexisting and chilling. Maybe you can recognize where they're coming from. Maybe you can't. Maybe they'll slowly fade away. Maybe they'll continue popping up. Either way, it is so important that you realize that they don't dictate shit, and you are the one that holds the power. I started getting clear on my goals and ultra focused. I was always the person that bounced from one thing to the next when I didn't see the results I wanted or when things started getting kind of boring and monotonous. I knew what my ultimate goal was, but that could be achieved in a myriad of different ways, and I could never get clear on a path to get there. I eventually stopped fucking around, and through trial and error, meditation, and listening to my intuition, okay, got clearer and clearer on how I may achieve that goal. I realized that every single successful person who I've ever spoken to, listened to, watched, anything, has mentioned consistency. They talk about how it takes time and you need to be consistent on your one thing, even and especially when it gets boring and monotonous. It is not always going to be fun and exciting to chase after your dreams. There will be down ticks, there will be self-doubt, there will be times when you want to quit, but those times are there to test you and see how dedicated you truly are in your relentless pursuit towards your goals. And like I've said many a time before, if you watch my videos, quitting is not an option. That word does not even exist in your vocabulary because it is just not going to happen. I won't allow it, and you should not allow it for yourself, okay? Get that into your stubborn little head. And I say that with so much love because I too had a stubborn little head. Now it's big and expansive, and sometimes it's know-it-all-y, but usually it's pretty modest. If you guys are interested in diving deeper into this, which you really should be, I did launch Thrive Pro, which is my paid school community. It's literally only $22 a month. It's so cheap. And I created a new framework that is going to excel you into the place that you want to be in life. I will link that in the description. As per usual, if you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you like me, subscribe to the channel, follow my Instagram, leave me a comment. I love some good comments. I love you guys to absolute pieces. Never allow yourself to quit, never allow yourself to falter, never allow yourself to waver, and never allow yourself to doubt your capabilities. I will talk to you guys very, very soon.